What's up, guys? It's Shawn Mayo here, and I know a lot of you have wanted to get an account with, Mattel or its whole line of toys. And while the qualifications aren't super easy, I just want to make this quick video to show you what all you needed to do. But the good news is that when you set up an account with Mattel, then you're able to sell their whole line and buy it from one source. There are some pretty stiff qualifications. If you're an Amazon seller, you will have to jump through some hoops, but it is possible. So I just wanted to go through a few of the awesome brands that Mattel does cover. Things like American Girl and Jurassic Park, Barbie, of course, and everything you see on the screen. I'm not going to name off each one of them. Lots of stuff from Disney. So, Disney in general, Toy Story planes, DC superhero girls are pretty popular. All kinds of stuff from DC. Hot Wheels, Imaginext, Ghostbusters, everything from Fisher Price. They have, I believe, 7 pages full of brands. Masters of the Universe, of course, Matchbox, Little People, of course, which falls under Fisher Price. Kerplunk is also always a fun game. Polly Pocket, Pictionary, the Octonauts, Monster High, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, again, another Disney brand. Mega Bloks, Minecraft. Thomas, Skip-Bo, Rose Art, Power Wheels from Fisher Price. If you're selling on Amazon, that's probably not selling a whole lot of Power Wheels because they're so big, but that option is out there. Rock'em Sock'em Robots and the WWE, Whack-A-Mole games, Uno, everything from Viewmaster and everything else you've seen on the screen. So those are just a few of the brands. Now, creating an account is not easy. Amazon has a $5,000 basically pay-to-play option, so you do have to pay that fee. The good thing about that is you only have to pay it if you get approved. So you don't have to pay that up front. They're just going to add that as a charge on your account. Now, and that could go away at any time. They remove those all the time. They add them to new brands. So, always look into that. Try and, get approved to see if that charge is still on there. So, I want to go over a few of the requirements for web-based retailers, and I'll put the links in the description to all these pages so you can go and apply and get the ball rolling. Now, they're one of the companies that do allow web-based retailers, so I would never lie to a brand. And people ask me that all the time. Would you lie? Should you tell them you're an Amazon seller? Well, I don't lie about being an Amazon seller, but I don't volunteer that information right off the bat. So, I am an online reseller. I don't have a physical location. We do have a warehouse, which is really, if you're a web-based retailer for Mattel, that's really all they require. So we're going to go over that. So you must be a legitimate retail operation with a retail storefront or an acceptable web-based business. So what that means is they're going to check your web-based business. They're going to check your website. Obviously, you can't have their brand or any of their brands really in the domain name. That's immediately going to remove you from being able to apply. But beyond that, they want a retail, an online web-based presence. You can have their products already that you're selling from other sources, as long as the descriptions and photos and all that are correct. The second thing is, again, a storefront or commercially zoned dedicated warehouse and customer network that's based in the 50 states DC, Puerto Rico, or Guam. So, what this means is they're not going to ship to your home. So even though you have a you know, web-based store, it can't be based at your home. So you have to have a warehouse or some kind of commercial space. So they're not going to approve it if it's a UPS store, a PO box, warehouse, garage, structure, or barn located on a residential property. So if you have a warehouse, in your backyard, they're not going to approve that. They're going to check out the address and make sure that it's not a residential address. You have to have a commercial address, which, lots of wholesale companies. So you can go in and, get a fairly small commercial location, for even only a few $100s, depending on where you're at. We have a 2-story warehouse, so, it really hasn't been a problem for us. It's in a commercial area, so, they're not going to allow any of that stuff. No fulfillment centers that they know of. The warehouse may not be shared by another business. No storage, whatever they're called, storage rental facilities, and no freight forwarding addresses. Obviously, they're going to know those big freight forwarders. And you must also have a live website with retail prices and images. So you can't have one of those wholesale, sites saying this is the kind of stuff we sell. It actually has to have a store that people can buy from, being able to use a credit card, PayPal. They do accept PayPal. I know that for a fact with other of our clients who have successfully set up these accounts. They will use the PayPal, credit card payment, or, Stripe or whatever it is that you set up. But it has to be a live working, retail website where they can go there, they can see products, and they can make an order, and pay for it with a credit card. So, again, you can't have one of those, just a website advertising to, manufacturers or distributors. You can't misuse trademarks. Mattel will not approve web-based retailers who use a Mattel trademark in a business or domain name. So like I said before, you just can't have Mattel or any of their brands in the domain name, in your registered business name, any of that. And you must accept a minimum of 1 credit card while following applicable credit and industry requirements for protection of data. So that just means you have to be able to accept credit cards and, have, a secure site. And must have a contact us page with a physical address and valid email address for customer service. So, like I said, these are not real hard requirements, and those are just for the web-based retailers. We'll go over all the requirements. But really, if you have a warehouse, you have your own warehouse already, or you have a cheap warehouse, or you have somebody doing fulfillment for you, a small fulfillment center, that may work. No promises there, but they don't want any, they want you to have your own business where you're going to keep your stuff and fulfill things from there. They don't want their product line to get, interrupted by, counterfeits or anything like that. If you're sharing a warehouse with another company, fakes could get in there. They want you to be able to secure your own fulfillment. All right, so here are the general requirements. So they call them, business to business Mattel partners. I'm not going to read all of this, but this is basically, how you get to the application. So again, you must be a legitimate retail operation with a real storefront or an acceptable web-based business. So we already went over the web-based things. If you do have a retail storefront, even better. I know most of you guys don't, but you can follow those things for the web-based business. So you have to have a state-specific resale certificate for each state that receives shipment. So wherever you're sending it to, you have to get that resale certificate. I mean, it's super easy to apply Almost no states charge for it. That's not very hard. And everybody, who's buying wholesale should already have, a resale certificate. You just have to make sure you have it where your address is. And you must meet minimum opening order requirements of $5,000 and a reorder requirement of $500. And then you have to spend at least $10,000 a year. So that just means when you open your account, your very first order has to be for a minimum of $5,000. Buying from Mattel and its brands, that's not very hard to do. And then you have to spend at least $500 on every time you reorder. And if you don't meet that qualification of $10,000 a year, they'll drop you and you'll have to try to reapply. And then, of course, they're just going to want, your contact information. You don't need to go through all that, but, name, address, phone numbers, email addresses. Again, a state-specific resale certificate, a ship to and a bill to address, includes your primary ship to address at the time. Additional addresses can be added once you open an account. And trade references for companies you do business with. This just means other wholesale accounts that you do business with. Of your first order and estimated annual sales value. So once you do that, you can actually start the application. And that's about all there is to it. It seems like a lot, but in reality, it's just a few simple things. You have to have either a retail location or a website where you can order stuff. With all your contact information available, and they want you to do at least a $5,000 initial order. You can go on to Fiverr or lots of other places to have a pretty generic website, designed pretty quickly, easily, and cheaply. As well as having some kind of a warehouse or a location that they can ship to. Not a lot of requirements. People think it's a lot, but you're literally going to have dozens of brands that you can sell to by just creating this one account. Real easy, real simple stuff. If you want to have access to these brands that are very limited in the amount of sellers they have, then you do have to jump through some hoops and do a little extra work. But in the end, it is really worth it if those are the kind of brands you want to sell.